One of the biggest advantages of homeschooling is that you get to control the mornings. And that gives you a powerful opportunity to shape your child's ability to focus, think clearly, and to truly learn. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 morning habits that supercharge your child's brain. Hi, I'm Janelle, homeschooling mom of 4 and family health coach. I've spent years learning how important morning routines are and how to optimize cognitive function. And for our children, these fundamentals matter more for our child's ability to focus and learn than the curriculum we choose. Stick with me if they sound simple at first, because common sense is not always common practice. And after each habit, I am going to give you a supercharge tip. This will allow you to optimize every morning habit. So let's jump into habit number 1, and we're not adding anything, we are just optimizing this one. What I'm asking you to do here is to ditch the alarm clock. If you've still got some of that school system or even hustle culture mindset, you might feel like setting an early alarm, getting things done super early, eating the hard things for breakfast is the way to go. But what we want to do is allow their bodies to get as much sleep as it needs and optimize their circadian rhythm so that the sleep they're getting is deep and restorative. Not all sleep is equal. Here's why this matters so much. You can have the perfect curriculum, the most engaging lessons, and the best learning environment. And your child can still struggle if their brain hasn't had enough deep restorative sleep. Their brain won't be ready to intake new information. The research on this is clear. The more and better sleep, the better the academic outcome. And I want to share 2 studies with you. First, a 2019 MIT study tracked students and found those with longer, better quality, and more consistent sleep had significantly higher GPAs. And the University of Washington studied what happened when Seattle High School pushed their start time to 8:40. Students got just 34 more minutes per night, and that led to improved grades and better attendance. Just half an hour made a difference. So yes, it does matter if you're only waking your kids up 30 minutes before they might have woken up naturally. Those last couple hours of sleep are actually really important. Sleep is going to determine if your child's brain is going to absorb anything that day. When kids don't get enough sleep, they show measurable impairments in their attention. They're more distractible, they have trouble focusing, and difficulty sitting still. One study found that students with C, D, or F grades were sleeping just 25 to 30 minutes less per night than students getting A's and B's. Some of these symptoms can even look like ADHD, but they just needed a little more sleep. Now, there's a second part to this because it doesn't just influence your child's ability to learn that day, it also determines what they actually remember and retain in the long term. During sleep, your brain strengthens neural connections from what you learned that day. That process of moving things from short-term to long-term memory. When you don't get enough sleep or it's lower quality sleep, this consolidation process gets disrupted. So even though you might have studied or practiced all day, your brain doesn't properly lock it in. This is why homeschooling really gives us the upper hand in learning, because we can let our children get the sleep that they need and optimize it. We're not locked into a 7:30 a.m. start time. So I told you a simple method to let them get more sleep. This alone is going to do wonders. But here is the supercharge hack. We're going to help them get even better sleep by influencing their circadian rhythm during the day. This looks like no screens in the evening. At a minimum, no screens 2 hours before bedtime. We try to be off by 3 or 4 so that there is a 5 or 6 hour gap before bedtime. This also looks like getting morning sunlight in your eyes. The sunlight in your eyes actually communicates with your biological clock, with that circadian rhythm. It's very, very crucial and even influences all of those hormones that tell your body when it is sleep and awake times. These 2 things alone will significantly increase the quality of your child's sleep. And of course, there are so many other things that can influence it, like movement and diet, but that's for another video. The next habit is, so are probably already doing, but maybe we could increase the intention here. As soon as they wake up, make them drink water, at least 8 to 16 ounces. And I know you might be rolling your eyes, but I was listening to an audiobook one day and she said, if I don't want to drink water in the morning, why should I? So even adults, sometimes either we get too busy and overwhelmed and we just want that cup of coffee as soon as we wake up, or we just might truly not understand how important it is to get that cup of water in upon awakening. And when it comes to our children, we get tired of being a broken record, telling them repeatedly to do these normal daily things. When we sleep at night, we are going 8 to 12 hours without any water. Our brains become very dehydrated. Here's what I need you to know. Just 1 or 2% dehydration, where your body doesn't even feel thirsty yet, impairs our cognitive function, attention, and memory. The brain is 75% water. It literally cannot function properly without it. There's a study I think about all the time. Researchers gave children water before a cognitive test. Just water. The kids who drank water performed significantly better than the kids who didn't, even when those kids didn't report feeling thirsty. And another side note, I have talked to 2 moms in the past few months who send their children to public school and had to go pick them up from school for dehydration. So we really have that special opportunity to be on our kids about these really important things that are so boring to them, but are so important. So be the broken record. Make sure they get 8 to 16 ounces of water as soon as they wake up. I try to fill water cups before bed, so it's already there. I have 4 kids, so I need to make sure that that's done and ready for them as soon as they wake up. And especially where I don't do alarm clocks, everybody's waking up at different times, I want to make sure it is ready. So here is the Supercharge hack. Even though the water is already working wonders, don't underestimate it. We can improve this even more because just water doesn't fully hydrate our cells. You may have heard this, we actually need minerals for hydration. You can do just a pinch of Celtic salt or pink Himalayan salt. I prefer Celtic. And if you stir that up, they shouldn't taste it. You can even do a little bit of warm water first so that it dissolves and then fill the rest of your water up. Warm water is actually really great in the morning. You could also do some electrolytes if your kids like them. And if your kids love to eat a banana in the morning, those are also full of incredible electrolytes. So just consider that a win. We let the kids sleep in. We made sure that they drank their water. What is next? If you are waking up thinking about everything that needs done for the day, you might be overwhelmed, just wanting to make sure that you check the boxes and get everything done. You might be skipping this, and it might be causing you some power struggles and some difficulty in getting your child to do what they need to do or to retain the information being taught. We need to love them. Connection is actually a way to supercharge your child's brain. This is not gentle parenting, this is actually neuroscience. The nervous system has to feel safe to learn. When a child's nervous system perceives threat, even if it's just, oh, mom seems off, she's stressed out, I'm stressing her out, the schoolwork's stressing her out, it creates uncertainty and unsafety in a child's body. It moves blood and oxygen away from the prefrontal cortex, which is learning, memory, focus, and impulse control, and toward the amygdala and survival systems. The brain goes into that fight or flight mode. Here's the thing, in that state, they literally can't access higher cognition. They're not choosing to be difficult. They're not choosing not to focus. They're not trying to be lazy. That part of their brain is simply offline. There are tons of bodies of work around what is called co-regulation between parent and child. Your stress becomes their stress, even if it's all subconscious. So before discussing lessons, sit with them while they drink their water, look them in the eyes, smile, say their name. Let them know that they are seen, loved, and heard. Ask them how they slept, what they dreamt that night, how they're feeling about the day. Just 5 to 10 minutes of connection. And it's not delaying the academics. It's supercharging your child's brain. And honestly, you're protecting the relationship that matters more than any worksheet. Here is your Supercharge hack. So how do we make this even better? This also has some really interesting research behind it. Play with your child, tickle them, get them laughing, run around with them, toss a ball with them. Just be silly. There's research showing that children who engage in playful interaction before learning tasks perform measurably better on those tasks. Play releases dopamine, which primes the brain for focus and motivation. It also releases oxytocin, which is going to deepen that sense of safety and activates that prefrontal cortex. So if you want to supercharge that connection time, don't just sit with them. Play together. You're not just wasting time, you are priming their brain chemistry and making life so much more fun. And I think we all need some of that. This is how connection becomes activation. Let's look at habit number 4, which is all about fueling the brain. Remember these words: protein before processing. Real breakfast before you ask their brain to do any work. When we are feeling like there are just not enough hours in the day, it can feel so tempting to try to get some of our time back with a quick breakfast by just pouring some cereal or some muffins or Pop-Tarts or whatever breakfast food they advertise these days. The problem is this is going to spike their blood sugar. They're going to have this huge spike and this huge crash. They're going to be hungry, tired, and grumpy very quickly. That crash is going to take focus, mood, and cooperation right down with it. If you're always dealing with a mid-morning meltdown and sudden inability to focus around 10 a.m., it's often not defiance. It's not your child being dramatic. It's their blood sugar. You're not dealing with a behavior problem. You're dealing with a fuel problem. Protein, on the other hand, provides steady fuel. Nutritional research continues to show that morning protein is essential because it provides the amino acids required to produce neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine, to directly regulate a child's focus and alertness. By stabilizing blood sugar and increasing satiety, a protein-rich breakfast prevents energy crashes, leading to measurable improvements in child's concentration, memory retention, and problem-solving skills throughout the day. A protein-deficient breakfast literally means that the brain is missing those raw materials it needs. Now, I know you guys might be thinking, I don't have time to cook every morning. Taking the time to cook a good high-protein meal might actually save you time when homeschooling is going smoother and easier and there's less breaks for snacks or cooperation issues. And there are so many fun and easy ways to prepare the day before. Simply cracking and whisking your eggs the night before can make throwing some eggs on a pan feel so quick and easy. In my Health First Homeschool community, I actually share some of those high protein recipes that I love to keep on hand. I'll tell you more about that in a moment, but for now, let me give you that Supercharge hack. On top of the protein, I want you to add healthy fats. Simply, this looks like cooking your eggs in ghee or avocado oil instead of a vegetable or canola oil. It could also look like adding some smoked salmon or avocado on the side. Earlier I mentioned that the brain is about 75% water. Well, if you were to remove that water, the remaining dry mass is 60% fat. So other than water, your brain is mostly fat. And not all fats are good fats. So whatever fats you consume, your brain is actually being made out of that. So we want to create our child's brain out of healthy, stable fats. I take it a step further. I supplement with omegas. I also have some supplements I give myself and my kids to reduce anxiety and improve focus. If you want to dive deeper on which specific supplements, the dosages, and how to implement them, and all the other habits from this video, that's all inside my free morning mastery training within that Health First Homeschool community. I cover the specific supplements that research shows supports things like ADHD symptoms, anxiety, and improved cognition. It's free and it's where I share everything on how to support your family's biology and even mindset so that learning can happen without the daily battles, without the burnout, without sacrificing the relationship with your child, and to even make them smarter. The link is in the description. I cannot wait to hear from you there. Now, the fifth habit, and this can actually double as the play connection with your child. So this could be a 2-in-1. And this one has some of the most robust research around it, is movement. Physical exercise releases BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factors. This is kind of like miracle grow for the brain, because it can literally grow new neural connections and strengthen existing ones. So if you really want your child to get it and retain the information, making sure that they exercise before a lesson is one of the best things you can do. Unfortunately, a lot of us treat movement as an extra, not a necessity. And I've done this, cutting out our morning walk to just get homeschooling done, and I get it. But I've actually moved our homeschool time to the afternoon to make sure that movement never gets compromised. Again, you're not taking away time from learning. You're actually making sure that that time spent on that lesson is worth it. And for ADHD kids especially, this is crucial. The ADHD brain is what researchers call unaroused. It needs stimulation to come online. If you're an ADHD adult, you know how much we love coffee. No amount of sit still and focus will ever compete with 15 minutes of jumping on the trampoline. My biggest message here is stop fighting their biology and work with it. Get it optimized. If your morning routine already feels overwhelming, I know that this might feel like more, but it's really not. These are all small tweaks that can all be done in 90 minutes. Here's the real math that matters though. A child whose brain is online, well rested, well hydrated, well nourished, fully activated, will learn so much more in 2 hours than a depleted child in a week. You might just finish earlier and your child will absolutely retain more. You'll fight less and you'll enjoy this process more. I hope I've convinced you to have a health-first homeschool approach. Let me give you the Supercharge hack real quick before the end of the video. The 2 most important things when it comes to physical exercise is making sure the heart rate gets up and strength training. A walk is good, but if you really want that BDNF, you want to get that heart rate up and get those muscles moving. Most parents never think about doing any type of strength training with their children, but research has shown it has unique cognitive benefits and even immune function benefits. They don't have to be lifting weights, but climbing, pushing, lifting heavy things and putting them back down, this is where the brain chemistry really shifts. When muscles work against resistance, they release molecules called myokines. These travel to the brain and support that cognitive function. If this shifted something for you today, I would love to hear from you in the Health First Homeschool community. You're going to find my in-depth morning mastery training completely free, and together we can build a community that gets it. Link is in the description below.